Hey guys, it's Eric, owner of Farpoint Farms here in the mountains of North Carolina. How you doing today, everybody? Good, I hope you're doing good. Anyway, today I'll be showing you how to install these things right here. This is a helper spring or add-a-leaf or whatever you want to call it, leaf helper spring. It has a bunch of names, but this is what it is, and depending on the setting you use, and I'll show you how to decide that, you can get 800, 1,000, or, well, 800, 1,200 or 1,500 pounds out of this puppy. So I'm adding 1,500 pound load capacity to this thing. I have a small truck. It's like basically a quarter-ton truck, and I want to upgrade that so I can haul heavier loads, lumber mostly, some concrete, stuff like that. So as you can see, this one's already installed. This is what the finished product's going to look like. And here's some pictures of what the kit looks like. Now these are very inexpensive. I paid less than $30 for this on eBay, and with free shipping. Can't beat that, right? Here's a picture of all the gear that you're going to need. And install is super simple, man. You're going to have to raise the rear of the truck off the ground. Now what's weird is you don't want to lift it by the axle here, because that would compress the springs. You want the springs to be unloaded when you install this kit. So you're going to want to lift it by the pinch welds or by the frame if it's a frame-on truck. So you're going to want to do that. But as far as tools go, well, other than jacking it up and putting a jack underneath it, you're only going to need a 19 and 2/13. So not a complicated task at all. So again, here's a picture of the tools and the stuff you're going to use there. No big deal, right? Let's go ahead and I'll move the camera to the other side there and we'll get started, okay? Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is determine how much weight you want to put in this thing. And that is simple enough. You have this little piece right here, and you have this piece right here, and you're going to be putting it in there in one of a few spots, right? So it sits like this. Well, you have two holes here. Are you going to put it here for lower capacity? Are you not going to have any at all, or are you going to put it here for higher capacity? I'm going to be putting it here. So that is where your first step is going to be, right? Second is going to be determining placement. I'm going to put mine right about there because I want it to clear. I don't want to interfere with brake lines. I don't want it to interfere with shocks or anything to do with anything that's already existing. So you're going to find a good spot for it. This one, luckily, pretty clear, pretty good spot there. So I'm going to go ahead and get my nuts and bolts ready. I'm going to put this side in first, and then I'll put that side in second. And we'll be going right along here. Like I said, this is not a difficult job. Okay, so what I've done here is I've got my bolt, started that just a little bit with the nut, got my second nut. These two are going to lock together, and I'm going to put that in there on the other side. I've got my little pin in place here. I'm going to put it into roughly the position I want it, and I'm going to slide that up through there. Once I've got that started, now that I've got it all the way up, I can move that back. That's that. We're just going to get that started. We're not really going to mess with that yet because we're going to make sure that all of our stuff is centered and whatnot. But that's a good place for it. So go ahead and get that going like that. And then we'll work on this side. This side is very similar. We've got our big U-bolt and our bracket. We're going to go ahead and take the nuts and washers and stuff off of it. And then we've got our big plate here. I'm going to slide that right through the divot here, like so. Lay our bracket down on top, and then it's just a matter of putting in lock washers, regular washers, and nuts on each one of those. Whoops. Once you get one started, you can some of the many uses you can use this for. What if I wanted to put a camper on this thing? If I want to put a slide-in camper, helper springs like this would be perfect for that. If I want to haul heavier loads, perfect for that as well. Also, ride height, you can raise it up about 1.5 inches at full height like this. Now it is going to give a stiffer ride, a harsher ride, because, well, especially if it's unloaded. But if you're going to put, 800 or 900 pounds in this thing on a regular basis, it'd probably feel about like stock. So that's it. So I'm going to go ahead, make sure that everything is centered up here, and then I'm going to tighten everything down, and that's really as simple as it is. I'm using 19 ratcheting wrench, so this doesn't take very long. going to go back and forth and tighten these down. I am actually thinking about making a custom camper, a slide-in camper, a home-built camper for this. So this is part of the upgrades that are necessary for that to work out, because there's no way that stock suspension is going to be able to handle all that weight. This ought to help greatly with that. Just a reminder, you want to make sure that this is centered fairly well in these. This is totally perfect. This one's, yeah, they're both really good. So that's nice. Just another reminder, I have this up in the air on a lift. You do not need to have this on a full-fledged lift. Set of jack stands will do this job just as good. I'm just doing this because I have it. Makes it easier. Also makes it really easy to show what I'm doing as I do it. That's it. Once that's tightened down, we're going to move to this. Now, this is not, that's probably 1 3/4 maybe. That's 2 1/8 on this. If it's less than 2 1/2, this piece here is actually quite smushable. And that's exactly what they want you to do. So we're going to be smushing that down as we tighten it. And I'll go ahead and tighten that down. I've got my 2/13s. Gonna just hold this 13 while I tighten this one down. By the way, if you don't have ratcheting wrenches, oh man, they're so good. Get yourself some ratcheting wrenches, you won't regret it. And that's it. Was that easy enough? Beautiful, right? So there it is. Pretty well, I would say, to do both start to finish, you're looking at a ½ hour at most. So a very easy project. Probably take you just as long to raise the vehicle up and put it safely on jack stands as it will to install these. That's it for today. I am Eric, the owner of Farpoint Farms. Hope you got some usefulness out of this video. If you did, perhaps you will think about liking and subscribing. I'll see you next time. Take care.
There's always something that needs a little fixing on Farpoint Farms. Freedom is mighty sweet.